Are the Miami Dolphins living up to their word and truly overturning every stone possible to find the best contingency plan available at quarterback? We will talk about it as it seems it's starting at the Senior Bowl, as we got confirmed reports about the Miami Dolphins meeting with some of the top quarterbacks at the Senior Bowl. Also, do they want to keep the Taylor legacy alive? We got some tight end talk today. Also from the Senior Bowl, we'll look at a couple of plays, talk about a couple of guys I like who had good days, and much more. Do me the favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into this.
Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it!
You have got to be kidding me.
Jalen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score!
Field down the near side, man open, touchdown!
The run from Tagovailoa.
Touchdown!
He's going deep! He's got it for the touchdown again!
Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires for the end zone. Touchdown!
Touchdown, Dolphins! Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go!
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we're back here for a late one. What's going on? What is going on? It's last call with Reason, baby. That's what we're doing. Hope everyone's having a fantastic evening on this hump day as the Senior Bowl is well underway. So much news was coming out. I got a show tomorrow with Neil. We're going to cover so much on that show with the Senior Bowl already as it was. I had to find a way to fit this info in. I was going to drop a static video. I said, no, you know what? I did that on the weekend. Let's go live for the people. So here we are sitting here with all of y'all right now. Appreciate all of y'all for coming through as you do, especially on these late videos. Help me out with my friend Al algorithm by smashing that like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it, smash it. And we're going to get into a lot of stuff today. All right? We are going to get into a lot of stuff today. We got quarterback talk. I saw someone in the chat saying we should trade up to 3 and get Shedeur Sanders. Ain't no goddamn way we trading up for Shedeur Sanders. The only quarterback we're trading up for is Cam Ward. And here's the reality of the situation, people. All right, let's keep it a $150. Cam Ward might have been QB6 last year. Let's keep it real here. He wasn't going to beat out Jaden Daniels. He wasn't going to beat out Caleb. He wasn't going to beat out Drake May. And I don't think he would have beat out Bo Nix and JJ. Bo Nix would have been his best shot. But Cam Ward would have been quarterback 5 or 6 last year. You want to trade up for Shedeur Sanders, who at best would have been quarterback 7? On my board would have been quarterback 8 with Dart at 7? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? No. We are not trading up for a quarterback. Not happening. Not happening at all. No, you don't trade up for no quarterback unless you're in like the 5th round. That's it. And it's been clear in a way the best quarterback at the Senior Bowl has been Jaxson Dart. And we're going to get into Jaxson Dart a little bit deeper because I got some things to say to people about who clearly have never evaluated the quarterback position before. But Milroe has been very hit or miss. He had some nice deep balls today, but Milroe was through picks today. Milroe was, we'll talk about it as we get into it here. And there's guys I like. I know Seth Hennigan had a good, he had a good start. Quiet, but I like Savaiinaea. But and again, that's a day 5. That's a day 3 guy. I know Kyle McCord was ripping up the East-West Shrine Bowl. I haven't been paying attention since the Senior Bowl started, but I know he was ripping it up. So, I know Kyle McCord was doing his damn thing for real. So, everyone knows I want McCord too. And I like Rourke. So, but we're not going to see anything of Rourke because of the injuries he suffered. That man played like the whole season on like a torn ACL. What an absolute G. So, anyways, listen, Nick S., there's only 4 quarterbacks I would be okay with taking before round 3, and that's Ward, yes, Sanders, yes, Dart, and yes, Milroe. Here is the problem. Cam Ward's clearly the most polished of them all. We're not going to have a shot. The other 3, you could make a case that each one of them needs to sit at least a year. I think Milroe needs to sit at least 2, and I think Dart and Sanders need a year to sit. So that's the reality of the situation, which again works perfect for us because if Tua stays healthy, they can sit there and develop, and we're good to go. But, there is only 4 quarterbacks I would take in the first 3 rounds, and those are the guys. Anyone else? No. Quinn Ewers? No. I'm not a huge Quinn Ewers guy. So, yes, we have a QB who right now is averaging missing 67 games a season, brother. That's the reality situation. Can he give us top 5 play when he's healthy? Sure. 110%. You can also have some lows, but he can give us highs and, he can give us lows, but you got to stay healthy. And I agree, give him an O-line, but you got to be, again, you have to be objective. His injuries recently haven't been because of the O-line. His injuries recently have been on the player itself. That's what has been frustrating everyone. He's not sliding. He's not protecting himself. Now, did the O-line get Skylar Thompson banged up? 110%. Do we need the O-line improved to give him more time in the pocket to throw the ball? 110%. Do we need the O-line improved to be better in the run game? 110%. But the injuries have not been on the O-line. So you got to be objective with it, man. He's not protecting himself. And look what he does. And I hate to use this analogy, but this is the only one that's coming to my mind right away. I'll use this analogy instead. It's kind of like, you ever had I don't know how many people, we got well over 150 people in the chat already. I don't know how many of you are parents or not, but it's like when you have a child and what do you keep telling them? Don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. Okay, daddy, I won't. They do it anyways. They get hurt. Or how many times have you seen someone say, man, I'm not going to do that again. Next thing you know, they do it again and they get hurt. Whatever in your life that is. Or I'm not going to do that again. I learned from that mistake. Then they go make the same mistake over again. It doesn't have to be getting hurt. So what can you really say? What can you really do? There's only so much you can say to the freaking guy. This is like, you got a girl, right? And every time you go to a party, now it never happened to me. Maybe it might happen to some of y'all, and I've seen it happen to dudes. There's always that one dude that went to your school who's got a girl, and every time they go to a party, she ends up in a closet or a room with someone else, and then it comes out at school the next week, and then she tells the guy, hey, it's not going to happen again, and it keeps happening. Same thing. Man, we had this when I went to high school. There's this one toxic, I'm thinking of that scenario. I'm thinking of that. It was this, they were like a year younger than me, and the guy's name was Dave, and I ended up working a job with him years later. I forget what the girl's name was. but I know his name was Dave. Anyways, that's what she would do. Like every time he'd go to a party with her, she was in, she was in a room with a dude or in a closet with a dude, and then would tell, hey, I'm not going to do it again. Not going to do it. They lasted for like 2 years, and she kept doing this. And then finally he said, yo, you're out. Peace. I mean, he finally did say, but it's the same thing. You keep telling them, slide. Protect yourself. Okay, coach, I will. Okay, coach, I will. Okay, coach, I will. And then we're sitting here holding our breath because the guy dives head first how many times? And what do you do, right? It's just like, right? Like, let's use that little analogy I was using with the two people I knew growing up. That's like you take her to the first party and she does nothing and says, see, I'm good. Tua does the same thing. Tua will slide on his first running attempt after he comes back from an injury. Then every freaking attempt after that is head first. I mean, literally, I don't know. I couldn't help but think, I don't know why that story popped into my head. And I remembered her name, Ashley. Nailed it. I remembered her name, Ashley. Now, I'm not going to give their full names, but, I totally, it's the same thing. It's the same, obviously it's not the same thing, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, look at me. I slid. And we all take a sigh of relief, and we're like, oh my God, he's going to learn. Very next time he runs, head first, not going down. Like, what are you doing, bro? So, yeah. Anyways, that's all I got to say about that. All right. Oh, man. Yeah, let's talk about some standouts today. Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M. He's a top 20, top 15 pick after what he just did. Unbelievable stuff. Just so great what that guy was doing. Unbelievable. Two other players I have heard that are leaving. I believe one of them it's Trey Amos and Mike Green. And Mike Green, I got to show you guys some reps from today before we get into everything. So, Mike Green, I told y'all he's one of my favorite edges in this class. He's a lot of people's favorite edge in this class. A lot of us were excited to see him come to the Senior Bowl. Now, a guy I've been talking to you guys about is Josh Conerly Jr. from Oregon. I feel like you look at his skill set, you look at the tape, I got a feeling that that's a guy that Greer would love. But anyways, I don't know if you guys saw this rep today, but this rep, Mike Green from Marshall, the edge, going against Josh Conerly. If you didn't see this rep today, you are in for a treat right now. Check this out.
Oh my goodness gracious.
God.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Like, are you kidding me? One more time. Look at this. Just pure power. Woo! Ooh! Oh my God. Just pure power. Now, in all fairness, Conerly is a left tackle. He was on the right side. So you got to, hey, that's why I tell you, it's not easy, man. You got to lead with your whole other side. You basically got to train yourself out. Everything you do from your kick slide to your hand placement, you got to switch to the whole opposite side. So in fairness, that's a tough job for Josh Conerly, but my Lord, Mike Green has been making a name at every practice. He's almost won every rep he's taken. It's been unbelievable. Mike Green has been fantastic since he arrived. So is Shamar Stewart. So is Trey Amos. They've been all so good. And I believe all three of them have left the Senior Bowl. They're not participating anymore. They are not participating anymore. So now, another kid who I've been bigging up to all of you guys that I've told y'all I want him so bad in the second round. Jonah, Savaiinaea. I think, he's the answer at right guard, and I think he could play right tackle for us if Austin Jaxson kicks rocks. I don't know if you saw his reps today, that one rep he had today, but I posted on X. Tell me you don't want this. Just tell me you don't want this. Try and tell me you don't want this. Look at that. Look at those vice grip. That man latched. Clean hand placement right into chest plate. Latched and wouldn't let go. My God. And look at the footwork. And look at the movement skills for a man that size. One more time. Give me Jonah Savaiinaea. Look at. Did you see what happened? Look at. Okay, watch what happens with the defender tries to do out the initial. He tries to hit him with a chop, and it doesn't even phase Jonah. Watch the arm of the defender right off the rip. Watch. Chop. Nope. Didn't even work. Just, got his arms in his chest, latched and extended them out, and it was over. I want that man in this interior. That is the bully I want. Go get me that. Go get me that. Right now. Go give me that in our interior right now, and let's cook. Give me that man. Jonah Savaiinaea all day, every day. I need to see that man in aqua and orange. Please, for the love of everything holy, give me that. I ain't asking for much, baby. I ain't asking for much. All right? I ain't asking for much. God, I love Senior Bowl week. And I will be live tomorrow with Neil Driscoll. Senior Bowl game. We will be going in more depth into Senior Bowl week. And we'll be talking about the Senior Bowl game itself. So you're going to want to watch tomorrow's show. We're going to really go into depth on some things. All right? So listen, I appreciate all of you for continuing to support. Smash that like button. All right? Smash that like button right now. Man, how do you not get amped up? Hey? How do you not get amped up when you see that ref from Jonah Savaiinaea and say, go, just go get me that. Start fixing this O-line. Start fixing this O-line. My God. Please. All right. Now, let's get into it. The Miami Dolphins today, they started the process. So let's start off and let's get over it. They met with some top quarterbacks. And let's start off with this. They met with Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe has had conversations with the Miami Dolphins about their backup quarterback position, he said. Specifically named the backup quarterback position. Also added the conversations, quote, went well. So here's my issue. I like Jalen Milroe. I think he's one of the top 4 quarterbacks in this draft class. But he needs to sit for 2 years. I wouldn't want to see him at all in year 1. I don't even know if I'd want to see him in year 2. Listen, this is a pick you make, I think. See, I think Jalen Milroe is a pick you make when you know you got some job security because you're going to need 2 years. That's how I view that. Jalen Milroe is a pick you need with job security. I think you look at guys like Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and Jaxson Dart. I think in a pinch, if they needed to come in year 1, I think those guys got tools and upside where they could maybe win some games for you. Jalen Milroe, it's going to be a struggle in year 1 if he's got to see real playing time. I'm telling you right now, it's just not ideal. I like Quinn Ewers less because I think Quinn Ewers' ceiling is far lower. I don't think Quinn Ewers has the tools Milroe has. But Quinn Ewers might even be a better option in year 1. Rourke might be like McCord. Those are, they're not as toolsy or the athlete Milroe is, but those guys look like they could probably, they're far less raw, in terms of passers, they look like they could probably give you something in year one if they had to come in. I'm not saying they would all like go on big stretches and win games. You know, like Milroe is literally a guy you have to draft and say, I don't want this guy seeing the field unless it's the preseason until minimum 2026. You know, I don't, you know, and really, I like I said, I think this is a 2-year project. Like, I think this is Jordan Love type of era we're in with that. Milroe is not a guy I would put anywhere near the starting lineup in year one, and I wouldn't be holding my breath that he'll be QB1 by year 2. He's an investment. You got to coach him up properly. And then the problem is, what's going to happen with Darrell Bevell? Right? Like, Darrell Bevell is potentially going to be going to Las Vegas. Let's say they bring in someone like Bobby Slowick. Right? Let's say they bring in Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick, did you guys, I don't know if you guys have heard what happened recently. But Bobby Slowick and CJ Stroud like almost got into a fight. Like in the pre-draft process. You know, like the whole story was apparently like, you know, they had a pre-draft meeting. CJ Stroud came into Houston. Bobby Slowick's trying to tell him stuff. And CJ just says, well, we call this whatever, XY switch, whatever it may be at Ohio State. Apparently, maybe it happened a couple of times, and Bobby Slowick just jumped and said, I don't give a F-U-C-K what you called it at Ohio State. This is pro football. And Bobby got into his face about it, and CJ was not one to back down. And CJ jumped up and got in his face. They had to be broken up. CJ then went to his next draft meeting and they said, we asked CJ how his last visit went and he said it went terrible. And that's why Slowick was fired that quickly. So, I mean, you don't even know who like, with a guy who's going to be a multi-year project like Milroe, McDaniel and Greer don't know if they're going to be here, and you don't even know who you're going to be developing the guy because Bevell might be gone. And if Bobby Slowick's your backup option, he's got a history of being a little contentious with prospect quarterbacks. So let's see how this one goes. But Jalen Milroe, that's a time investment. I don't know if we have the regime right now to invest that time. Again, Milroe's tools are off the charts. Great. Now, continuing on. The Miami Dolphins met with another quarterback, as well as a few other players that some of y'all are just going to be huge fans of. Oregon quarterback Dillon Gabriel. A lot of y'all hometown favorite wide receiver Xavier Restrepo, and West Virginia offensive tackle / guard Wyatt Millam told Chris Perkins that they've spoken with the Dolphins this week. So I know Restrepo is going to be a huge hometown favorite for Hurricane fans, right? They're going to love it, right? Now, when we get into Wyatt Millam, I am just going to keep it $150 with you. I've got him as a guard. I don't have him as a tackle, I believe. Yeah, I have him as a guard. I haven't been that impressed with what I've heard about him at the Senior Bowl. Haven't been that impressed with what I've heard. And we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth tomorrow. I don't know. You know, I there's other guards at the Pro Bowl that I like better than him right now. So, yeah, I like Milroe. But I'm gonna give you here you go. Right now, as it sits, he's my 8th ranked guard. He is my 8th ranked guard. So, yeah, like I like him. Don't get me wrong, I like him. But, you know, there's guys that I'm higher on at even smaller schools. And we'll talk about those tomorrow, some of those names tomorrow. Now, Dillon Gabriel. Everyone always asks me, reason, what do you think of Dillon Gabriel? Right? Because they see a left-handed guy throwing touchdown in Oregon. And, you know, they obviously, you know, the Tua comparison is just because he's left-handed. Right? Like, that's literally what everyone just, oh, he's left-handed. Tua. Listen. So I've watched Dillon Gabriel since he's at UCF. Dillon Gabriel is my 10th quarterback in this class right now. That might change. I don't know. I'm really, yeah, I don't know. On my initial rankings. So he might move up. But you know, like, I know people were seeing this report. There was this report out on X that he threw a ball 72 miles per hour. That was a lie. I don't know who believes that, but no, that did not happen. He did not throw a ball 72 miles per hour. Would he fit what we want to do in terms of our passing attack? Sure. You know? He can throw with anticipation. He can throw timing routes. Yeah, he can do that stuff. Obviously, he doesn't have a big arm, you know, contrary to what a 72 mile per hour tweet would try to tell you. You know, I like him, but like I look at him as a mid-tier guy. You know, I don't look at him as when this is right now, he's currently my quarterback 10. I'll tell you right now, the highest he could probably finish when I finalize my quarterback rankings, which are pretty much almost final, he's sitting between 8 and 10. So, I'm just not. I am not a massive fan. He's okay. You know? He's okay. I think he's dead. He screams career backup. That's what he screams to me. I don't see much starter upside. Now, could I be wrong? 110%. But he screams backup to me. I don't see starter upside when I watch his tape. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Right? So, you know, like even, you know, listen, I said there was other guard options I like better than Milroe. Even I know a lot of people are going to like Restrepo. You know, there's guys I like higher than him, obviously, like Ricky White and other guys like that. So, you know, now would he be top 10 in my wide receiver class? Sure. But like Dillon Gabriel, you know. Now, further on to the Dillon Gabriel thing, Oregon quarterback and Heisman finalist Dillon Gabriel has had great conversations with the Miami Dolphins about being their potential backup quarterback, he said. Again, Milroe mentioned backup quarterback, and this guy's saying conversations. Dillon Gabriel is using a plural, ladies and gentlemen, as if there has been multiple conversations. I'm just putting that out there. I know you don't have to be an English major to put that one together, but this man is speaking in plural. And again, I got no problem with him being a backup for Tua. My issue is I don't see him ever overtaking Tua. Unless Tua gets hurt and leaves the team and there's no other option, and Dillon Gabriel, we just ride with it and he balls out of nowhere, and it's the Dillon Gabriel show. So, I mean, we're talking about multiple conversations potentially between Dillon Gabriel and the Miami Dolphins about being their backup quarterback. And what does that tell me? I'm going to tell you this right now. That tells me they ain't looking to spend until, I wouldn't take Dillon Gabriel to the 5th round. That's a day 3. I'm just saying. Taylor Elgersma, yeah, he's a project. I agree. I get what you're saying though. In terms of the tools, I agree. I agree with that. He's way more toolsy than Dillon Gabriel. You won't go hear an argument from me. Now, let's get into my boy, the one that I've been banging the table for since August or September. And that is Jaxson Dart. Chris Perkins said Jaxson Dart was coy when asked whether he spoke with the Dolphins and said he preferred to leave such info between him and the team. So, Jaxson Dart, we know what happened. Jaxson Dart definitely had a conversation with the Miami Dolphins. If they're having multiple conversations with Dillon Gabriel, ain't no way you can tell me they haven't had a conversation or two with Jaxson Dart. Dart, he's out here playing chess while the rest are playing checkers. Dart, I would bet my house that we've already spoken to Dart multiple times. So I wouldn't even stress. He just doesn't want to show his hand. So shout out to Jaxson Dart. And let's stick with Jaxson Dart. For many of you wondering, because I got some stuff to say about Jaxson Dart. Because I see a lot of people seem to have an opinion on Jaxson Dart and in the first 2 days of the Senior Bowl. So let's break some things down here first, okay? Do y'all not remember when Justin Herbert went to the Senior Bowl? Do you guys not remember? I'll do you one better. Do you not remember that Justin Herbert hadn't taken a single solitary snap under center during his whole collegiate career? Did you not remember this? So that's why I was shocked when people were like, oh, Jaxson Dart's having some fumble exchanges on the first day of Senior Bowl. Yeah, because he's used to working out of the shotgun. But look at what's happened today. Some of the throws Jaxson Dart was making today, totally settling in with his receivers and being more comfortable dropping back. It's like these people have never evaluated quarterbacks before, or they don't even have recency memory. Justin Herbert didn't take a single snap under center in his whole collegiate career. What do you think Jaxson Dart's going to be doing after the Super Bowl with his quarterback team? They're going to be working on his 3-step and 5-step drops. It's all going to be under center work. Like, I don't get why people are so shocked by this. Like, just tell me you've never evaluated a quarterback and just don't talk about it. Just watch Senior Bowl. Just watch it. Quarterbacks are actually at the Senior Bowl, if you watch it historically, quarterbacks usually take a couple days, right? They're asked to do things they're not comfortable doing. They're working with whole new receivers. Like, look at some of the throws that Dart was making today were really good. So, this is what Louis Riddick, who I know a lot of Dolphin fans wanted as a GM. Listen to what Louis Riddick had to say about Jaxson Dart's performance today.
You've seen continual improvement in Jaxson Dart. And look, I think he articulated that a little bit as far as, how he expects things to get more and more comfortable for him as he starts to learn and try to execute an offense that's much different than the offense that he ran at Ole Miss. Look, there's a lot more verbiage here. Lane talked about on camera about how they tried to shorten a lot of that down at Ole Miss so they could play at that hyper tempo that they play at. Well, that's not something you see on a regular basis in the NFL. So now it's about getting the call from the coach, regurgitating that in the huddle, making sure you can give the players the coaching tips in this new offense that they need, that the players need to have, so everybody's on the same page. And then lastly, but most importantly, being able to execute. And look, Jaxson he's talented enough to do all the things that they ask him to do at the NFL level. And he has enough mental horsepower to be able to absorb all this information and then use it in real time. And it's getting better and better and better. And when it's clean, when he's sure of what the call is and everyone's doing their job, Paul, you see him do the kind of things that you saw him do at Ole Miss and why he's the all-time passing leader in Ole Miss history. And he can push the ball wherever you need it to, and he can do all the things that you need an NFL caliber quarterback to do. And I expect that to continue to get better as the practices continue to stack upon themselves, with tomorrow being the next day.
So, I mean, you see Riddick, that's pretty high praise. I mean, he talked about how this kid has the mental horsepower. Now, for all of you wondering what that mental horsepower might be, he's I believe his major is business. So it's not like he's a chemist major over here, but he's a major in business. And the thing is, they shortened the verbiage again just to get that hyper-tempo offense, he said, but you still had NFL quality and level coaching under Lane Kiffin. And you saw him making more tight window throws today on day 2. Because one of the knocks on him was, Lane Kiffin got guys open and he threw to a lot of open guys. Well, Dart's bad for having a good scheme and for finding the open guys. I'd be worried if Lane Kiffin was scheming the guys open and Dart wasn't finding them. That's what I'd be worried about. All right? And Dart, remember, his number 1 receiver this year at Ole Miss, Trey Harris, was hurt a little bit this year too. Dude, I'm telling you, the kid's got it up here. He's got the moxie. He's got the aura. He's got that confidence and that self-belief. And he's got the tools, man. I'm telling you, proper coaching, proper development, Jaxson Dart's going to be a problem. Yeah, I could get access to the Senior Bowl if I wanted. It's no problem. I get access to the Combine. I get access to the draft as well. I got links. I was thinking about maybe going to the Senior Bowl next year, actually, to be honest with you. Maybe see if me and Neil could get down there. So anyways, and the other thing I got to say too is, again, because he ran a lot of RPO and read option stuff, that's kind of similar to his background in Alabama. A lot of RPO, a lot of read option stuff. Right? What does that do? That quickens your processing. Speeds it up. So, I think a lot of people with the fumbles and he's having to change his game. Herbert did it. Other quarterbacks have done it. Dart will do it. So, yeah, man. Listen, I think he's going to continue to rise. Up the boards. And right now, as it sits, he's my quarterback too. In the proper environment, he has a higher ceiling than Shedeur Sanders. That's just a fact. I don't know what else to tell you. So, yeah. When you look at the tools, when you look at the body of work and what he is right now in terms of where he is as a prospect, he has a higher ceiling than Shedeur Sanders. So, now, do the Miami Dolphins want to continue the Taylor bloodline in Miami? This is what Mason Taylor said today when asked if he had met with the Miami Dolphins.
The
I mean, he's down in Miami right now coaching for the Hurricanes, so he's a defensive line coach. So he being close to home, it definitely means something to him.
Have you talked to the Miami Dolphins at all?
Yeah, in our rotation, like we've had rotations in the Senior Bowl, the press conferences all this week, and yeah, I spoke to them.
So there you go. Mason Taylor confirms he's met with the Miami Dolphins. But let's stick with Miami for a sec. Everyone on X, this Tyler Warren thing, which I've said is, you do not take unless you're a generational tight end like Brock Bowers, you do not go at 13 or in the top 15. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, I'm not doing it. All right? And what has my consistent argument been regarding this whole Warren infatuation? My consistent argument has been simple. This class is too stacked for me to take someone in the top 15. Everyone knows I love Harold Fannin. I'm a big believer in Gunnar Helm. I mentioned, we went over the analytics. I like Gunnar Helm. I'm a huge Gunnar Helm guy. I like Mason Taylor. Luke Lachey and Gunnar Helm are probably my man crushes of this class. Huge Luke Lachey guy. But also, let's stick with Miami. Look at what Elijah Arroyo is doing at the Senior Bowl right now. Look at the heads Elijah Arroyo is turning at the Senior Bowl right now, Hurricane and Dolphin fans. That is a perfect example. Why would I take a tight end in the top 15 when I can probably get Elijah Arroyo in the second round? Or Mason Taylor in the second and third. And Jason Taylor talked about Mason Taylor's game and how they've improved his blocking. And that's what they've been working on. Or I can get Luke Lachey in the third or fourth. Might even fall deeper because of his injuries, which is crazy because that'll be a complete steal. The ceiling on Lachey is huge if he can stay healthy. Gunnar Helm on day 2. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Like I'm sitting here watching Elijah Arroyo have a day, and I'm watching the same people on X who are clamoring for Tyler Warren at 13, now clamoring for Elijah Arroyo because it's a recency bias. But what I've been saying the whole time, tight end in the top 15 is not good value. You need to be generational. And then I've said on top of that, this is a very deep class. Again, Harold Fannin, Gunnar Helm, Luke Lachey, Mason Taylor, Elijah Arroyo, all guys who can be found outside of day 1 easily. Funny you should bring up Jake Brenningstool from Clemson, Jay Myers. Did you see that throw Dart had to him today? Had a nice throw to him today. Let me see if I can bring it up for you. I'm pretty sure it was Dart. Hold on, let me see. I'm pretty sure it was Dart. But yeah, I just the tight end class is way too good. Way too good. Why would you take someone so freaking high when this is a stacked class? It just makes no sense. But people will try to tell you, oh, it's a good idea. No, it's not. At all. No, I'm not taking Tyler Warren at 13. You guys are crazy. That's why I'm going to be honest with you. People are saying that, I'd never let you in my war room. If I was a GM, buddy, you'd be locked out of the building. Never mind try to get into my war room. And you can't sit there and say, well, Reason doesn't want a tight end because I was down for Brock Bowers, but he's generational. This kid ain't going to be generational. Is he going to be a top 10, top 5 tight end? Yeah, sure. But is he going to be the best in the league out the gate year 1 like Bowers? No. And Bowers did with like Aiden O'Connell. and Gardner Minshew. Anyways, talking with, Jay Myers brought him up. Jake Briningstool from Clemson. This was Dart actually today to Briningstool. Check this out. Just a one-on-one matchup, but this is Dart to Briningstool. Look at the placement on this ball. Boom! Right on the money. Look at the placement on that ball. Right in stride. Face mask level. Boom. Let's go. Give me Jaxson, baby. Give me Jaxson. Guys, smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We are going to be back tomorrow for Fin Too Deep with myself and Neil Driscoll. I wanted to let you guys also know I can also confirm that the Miami Dolphins have met with West Virginia edge, defensive end, Ty French. So he had 16.5 sacks and 6 forced fumbles in 4 years between Gardner Webb and West Virginia. So met with an edge player as well. So smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. As always, fins up all day, every day.